Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So I'm going to talk about 8 fruits that do not raise your blood sugar in any way. The glucose levels, right? But before that, I got to check in with my JBV community. Do you ever just not have success with your food? Like you've prepped it and it just doesn't happen? Oh my gosh, yesterday was a nightmare for me, and today was barely better. Okay, so yesterday I had to drive like literally 300 miles, right? So I totally enjoyed all of my oranges, which is one of the fruits that doesn't raise blood sugar. So I powered on the oranges and celery for breakfast. And then I knew I was going to be driving down the hill and was going to be driving to Hermosa Beach and everything. And it was going to be a lot of miles. And so I made a smoothie and I packed my lunch kit. And, I was just prepared for my day, seriously. So then I was kind of starving, like after I taught Saturday school and I'd gone about 100 miles and I pulled over. Sorry, something's getting my eye. I pulled over into a gas station for a second and I was like throwing out my orange peels, organizing my car, la la la. I didn't know my lunch kit had shifted. And so it was like leaning against the door when I opened the door, opened up, the whole thing poured out. I had oranges, rolling, apples falling, my bananas being killed. My glass jar fell, but seemingly didn't break. And I was so grateful. I was just like, whatever. I just dashed everything back in and just said, forget it. I'll just drink my tea and I'll eat at the venue. I was going to a memorial for my Aunt Jean. So I get down to the memorial and I'm like, thank God, because it's been like hours and hours of driving. I picked up my mother. We get there. It was a pre-made meal for the group and it was lovely, but it was lasagna with meat, salad with cheese, like already on top, it's pre-done, and something else, and then ultimately like the dessert, which of course is going to have eggs and everything in it, right? So we were just like, oh, it's all good, not a problem, we'll eat later. And it was just kind of that thing. And then even when I ultimately did eat, of course it wasn't the stuff that I would have chosen. And so that kind of put me in a frenzy today, because all of a sudden we slept a little too late. We had stuff we had to do. We took off without breakfast, which is a huge problem for me. By the time it was time for lunch, anything I tried to order, they were out of. They just didn't have the options. And I'm like, wait, what? Finally ended up getting a salad, but it had a couple of things that I don't generally eat. It was that kind of thing. Oh my gosh. Then we got home. We had to hustle with the horses. I got on a bunch of physical labor. Yay. Which was great because I was sitting and sitting and sitting yesterday, right? I didn't get home till, like 10 o'clock at night. And so today I was happy because I'm always stoked when I literally just have to do thousands of pounds of physical labor, and I was happy to help with that. But anyway, it just wasn't brilliant food-wise. But tomorrow's another day, and we are coming up on March 1st. It's just out of nowhere, right? Because we only get 28 days of February, and suddenly it's March 1st. But I want to do a couple of challenges. Oops, sorry, my little tripod's falling. I want to do a couple of challenges of coming up. So if you are not in our little 80-10-10, 80-10-10 Greens Make You Lean / something else group on Facebook, I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Okay, so that way you can join some of those challenges if you want. But I think I'm going to go for 3. I definitely want to do water again. I've been kind of slipping in my water. So ensuring that I get in my 16 cups. There's a great exercise one that I want to encourage. And there was one more. It's okay. I'll let you know tomorrow. I'll be totally ready tomorrow. All right. So this is a fantastic article called 8 Fruits That Don't Raise Blood Pressure. And of course, I will include it in the description of the video. And this is actually by Blue Cross Blue Shield. Okay. 8 fruits that don't raise blood pressure. Do you get tired of being bossed around by, we use cookies and you better accept them, or you can't look at our content? And it's like, oh, God, I'm so over it. I'm just so over it. And I get it. Big Brother's watching. They're stealing all my information. I get it, but darn it. I just want to get on with this article. All right, so it says, you think you can't eat fruit when you're diabetic. And praise God, I'm not diabetic. I was never even pre-diabetic. That's just not my story. But you think you can't eat fruit when you're diabetic? Think again. The American Diabetes Association has labeled certain fruits as diabetes superfoods because of their high vitamin, mineral, and fiber content. They're considered low GL foods, meaning they cause a slower and smaller rise in blood sugar levels. High fiber foods are often low GL because it naturally regulates your blood sugar and keeps you feeling full. I think they're saying glycemic index, right? Oh, so maybe that's an I. Yeah, I thought it was a lowercase L. I guess it's an I. But anyway, it's weird because they should technically be defining that as glycemic index. Anyway, of course you should still eat these diabetes-friendly fruits in moderation. Also be sure to eat them as is in their natural form and avoid juices, syrups, and processed fruits with added sugar. Of course, that's just straight up. All right, number 1, berries. Yay. Berries are loaded with antioxidants, vitamins, and fiber, making them a low glycemic index alternative. When you're craving sweets, try putting them on anything. Try eating them plain. Of course, as always, they're recommending non-fat yogurt or something, but as a vegan, I do not eat animal products for a healthy breakfast or dessert. And I know that they do have vegan yogurts and stuff, but I just don't care to go back to the foods I used to eat, even though they're modified. Like, I can't eat one of those fake hamburgers. They're too creepy for me. I can still do a Boca burger because it's not artificial meat, right? But anyway, it's something I would very rarely do. Number 2 is cherries. So interesting that cherries aren't part of a berry family, right? But cherries are another low GL. Oh my gosh, forget it. That's just going to freak me out, the way they wrote this. Can you guys accept GI as glycemic index? And if you go up into my search and you put low glycemic index, I know videos will come up because I did many a couple years ago. But anyway, cherries are another low glycemic index fruit that may help fight inflammation. Yes, please. They're also rich in antioxidants, which can help your body fight diseases like cancer. Peaches, so fun. It's weird. Like, I've been spending a little extra money to get some of the fun fruits, like peaches or like nectarines or like, even white nectarines or whatever, but they're not in season. And so even though they're probably coming from Mexico or something, they're just, they're not ripening properly. So I have them in a bowl and I'm waiting for them to ripen, and all of a sudden the skin has depleted and seemingly inside they're just not going to ripen. I have to be fair and just eat in proper season. Oh, that was another thing that went wrong. So after I was pouting yesterday about my food, I was going to go ahead and have some cantaloupes that I had spent astronomical amounts of money on because, again, they're not in season. And I was going to have some cantaloupes, and they also were seemingly waiting to ripen, only for me to find that on the bottom they were more than ripened and like ready to rot. And I was all, are you kidding me? So I basically just had to cut them up and give them to my pig, which she's stoked to eat. But I'm like, wait a minute, that was supposed to be a blessing to me. So I think the message is just stay with what's in season. So a ton of apples are in season, pears are in season, of course, oranges, pink grapefruit, even pineapple. Those are things I have. And I need to just stay with that until those other things come into season on their own. So it says peaches make the perfect summertime treat. They're loaded with vitamins, minerals, and fiber and go great in unsweetened iced teas. I like that they said unsweetened. I love to use peach flavored tea, to like sprinkle on things. But for me, unless peaches are in season, and we don't get like those gigantic Georgia peaches that I see people in other places in the country get, but some of our peaches are delicious when they're ready. I try not to eat canned fruit, and when I use frozen peaches, they just don't seem very sweet to me, which is okay. But again, I think it's a message to wait till something's in season. The next one is apricots. One serving of these summer fruits contain over 50% of your daily vitamin A requirement and is loaded with fiber. Try tossing diced apricot into a summer salad for a refreshing twist. I love apricots when I can get them when they're in season. I do have dried ones, which I can put into various, dressings or whatever, and that's great. Okay, apples. There's a reason apples are everyone's go-to fruit. They're loaded with fiber, vitamin C, and antioxidants. Plus, they're easy to take around with you and eat whenever. I completely agree. Mm-hmm. You know what I have trouble with? I don't know if you can tell the difference between winter fruit. So the apples right now have a really thick skin. And I just don't, a couple of the ones I just don't prefer. Like I'll bite into it and it's just all skin and it's a lot of work. Obviously, a little later in the season they'll be much fresher. And same thing. I mean, even with my pink grapefruit, my oranges, super thick rind or skin. And then you finally get down to the actual orange. It's pretty funny. But that's okay. It's seasonal. I still love it. I'll go with it. All right. So orange is the next one. Get all the vitamin C you need in a day just by eating one orange. And I far exceed that. Luckily, the body does not hold on to excess vitamin C, which is why people can get scurvy and things if they don't have enough. But I don't have to worry about over ODing on vitamin C. Part of the reason my face is clearing up, and I don't mean that I ever had acne. I mean like the brown spots and stuff that I had sooner, or even this, which is trying to work its way off, is because of how much vitamin C I eat. And I love it so much. So it says, did you also know that oranges contain folate and potassium, both of which can help regulate your blood pressure? I know. Like every single thing I eat is fantastic for low blood pressure, but I kind of have low blood pressure. So I don't know. It's a risk I'm willing to take. Pears. Pears are a delicious source of vitamin K and can go wherever you go. After they're picked, they get a better texture and become sweeter. I love that. Just be sure to eventually store them in the fridge after they ripen. Now, I've been getting used to anjou pears, and partly because I use it in a fantastic dressing that I love to make. And something about that little bit of heartier anjou just works way better than the much waterier Bartlett pear. The other thing with Bartlett pears for me is that they bruise so easily. So you have to get them just right and be so careful with them, or for me, I just go, oh, the texture can get really weird. But yeah, pears are a delicious source of vitamin K, which I love. I love that they get better. Be sure to store them eventually in the fridge. Kiwis. I don't do kiwis. I kind of remember when I was in New Zealand and I lived there for about 4 months, taking care of my nieces, that they were probably fresh and great. But for me, my gosh, I mean, if you don't get a very ripened pineapple, my mouth will break out. For me, it breaks out from kiwis. It seems like no matter what, they just don't work for me. So it says, don't be put off by their fuzzy exterior. Kiwis are a good source of potassium, fiber, and vitamin C. They're available all year, so they'll be in a store whenever you have a craving. If you're looking to take control of your diabetes, you have more options than just eating healthy fruits. Okay, and then it's an ad for that. But anyway, yeah, let's go back a second. We got berries, all kinds, cherries, peaches, apricots, apples, orange, pears, and kiwis. It's a great start if you're at all concerned about your blood sugar, or if you want to tell someone who is. That's a great tip right there. 8 fruits that don't raise blood sugar. I'm all in. I'll tell you, I have berries like every day in my smoothies. I love cherries as well. Like I said, I sort of use apricots and sauces and things like that. If I can get them fresh in the summer, I love it. I often eat apples. I eat oranges every single day. I often eat pears. So that's just a great list for me. Of course, what's not on there is banana, which I believe is really the highest sugar content. But I will take that risk all day long and twice on Sunday. I love bananas. And again, with that whole glycemic index idea, they're about 25 calories for 1 ounce. Whereas orange is 13 and grapefruit is only 10, and I think it does kind of go in union with that. But what I know is that you cannot get fat on fruit, and the benefits of the vitamins, the fiber, the list is so endless. It's insane. And that's another thing. You can go up to my little search and say benefits of, and like 1 billion videos will come up on a bunch of fruits, bunch of vegetables, bunch of loveliness. So yeah, spend some time on that. Anyway, my friends, I will be eating more luscious fruit tomorrow. My food will be more balanced tomorrow. And as I suggested, I'm hoping to bring some challenges to start on Tuesday. I'm tripping over my words because I am exhausted, but I'm kind of proud of myself. It's only 11 o'clock at night. I may actually get to bed by 11:30. I know, I don't want to brag, but looks like it might happen. All right, like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.